the things we do, baby. In the middle of the night, in my dreams, I know I'm gonna play with you, so I take my time.
Yard, and on the other side is New Yard. We'll be going there after as well. But talk a little bit about the history. Harvard was founded in 1636. Where did I go by? Harvard was founded in 1636 by Massachusetts Bay Colony, and this was only 16 years after the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. So Harvard had very, very humble beginnings. In fact, New College did not, it was founded under the name New College, and it did not have a single class, building, or instructor. It wasn't until 2 years later that a man by the name of John Harvard, that statue is dedicated to, died and donated his rare library book collection, a small sum of money, and the land that you guys are standing on, which used to be cow pastures, to the university, and they renamed themselves in honor of Mr. Harvard. Now, I said one great way to trace Harvard's history is through its architecture. Another one is by correlating it with American history. Because Harvard is so old, we like to say that Harvard and the United States grew up together. So in 1782, only 7 years before the signing of the US Constitution, Harvard opened up the first of its graduate schools, the Harvard Medical School. And throughout the 1800s, which was a century of expansion for America, Harvard also underwent its greatest era of expansion, adding the Divinity School, the Law School, the Dental School, and the cap of the century, the Business School. And to continue this trend of progress, in 1847, they admitted their first African-American student under the name of Beverly Garnett Williams. Unfortunately, Williams died before attending Harvard, so he wasn't able to graduate, but it wasn't until 23 years later that the second African-American student would be admitted under the name Richard T. Greener, and he would actually graduate and go on to become a dean at Howard University, which is another prestigious college in the US. Now, despite all, go ahead.
Are you ready for it?
Oi gente, sejam bem-vindos ao meu canal. Estamos hoje aqui em Harvard. Você já viram, né, pelo título, então não é surpresa, não. Eu ia fazer suspense, mas não adianta. E a gente veio hoje fazer um tour aqui, E a gente veio hoje fazer um tour aqui e tipo, acho que se não me engano tem 10, 10 e meia, 11, 11 e meia e 12 horas. E são $14 por pessoa. Um pouco caro, mas tudo bem. E eles são feitos pelos próprios estudantes, então eles sabem a história de tudo e aí vão contando várias coisas. Tô tentando acompanhar um pouco o que o menino tá falando, só que eles falam um pouco rápido. Mas pelo que eu entendi, aquele prédio ali assim, esse prédio ele é tipo um alojamento e já estudaram alguns estudantes famosos. E ali, esse verde aqui, ficava uma biblioteca, só que aí acabou pegando fogo. Então, muitos documentos, muitos livros de Harvard acabam sendo perdidos por conta disso. Esse prédio aqui, ele é um memorial para todos os soldados que morreram durante a guerra. E aí se você entrar lá dentro tem tipo um corredor com o nome de todo mundo, parece. Ai gente, é tão bonito, olha pra isso.
You'll notice we went around this building, so anything on this side, those three buildings over there is the New Yard. So you guys are currently seated on the steps of Memorial Church, and this was a war memorial opened in 1932 in memory of all the Harvard soldiers who died fighting in wars not commemorated by Memorial Hall. So like World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, etc. And you can actually find the plaque above the door with. Now, Widener Library is the cornerstone of the Harvard Library Collection, which is the largest private library collection on the planet. And the Widener Library's full name is actually the Harry Elkins Widener Memorial Library. So it was opened in 1914 in memory of Harry Elkins Widener. So he graduated in 1907, but was memorialized in 1914. Only took like 7 or 8 years. Usually it takes a whole lot longer for someone to have a building named after them. So what happened? Well, Harry was a very, very, very wealthy young man from a very, very wealthy family, the Wideners. So when he graduated in 1907, he decided to go on a book collecting expedition to Europe with his family, his mother and his father. This was a very productive trip, so he ended up finding the first edition copy of Francis Bacon's essays and even a copy of the Gutenberg Bible. This is one of the first books ever printed in the whole world, 600 or so years ago, which is also on display inside the library. So it was a very, very productive trip. He was so excited to come back to the US and show everyone what he had found. So what would have been the fastest way from Europe to America in 1912?
Boat.
Probably boat, yeah. Planes weren't used that much back then, so any specific boat? The Titanic! Yes. Mrs. Widener was the sole survivor of that family, and when she came back to the US, she said, "I will offer you $3.5 million to build a library in my son's honor." There goes that building right behind me.
Are you ready for it? 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 In the middle of the night, imagine you should see the things we do, baby. In the middle of the night, imagine you should see the things we do, baby.
Já estamos aqui de novo no hotel, aqui um negocinho. E, gente, sério, vamos pra Harvard, é muito linda, é muito bonita, a história é, tipo, incrível. E eu espero que eu tenha conseguido botar tudo aí direitinho pra vocês, porque realmente não é muita coisa, eu quero falar muito rápido, então pra acompanhar não tava assim, não, muito fácil. E aí a gente voltou aqui pro centro, fomos na Primark. Que loja incrível! Se vocês vierem para os Estados Unidos, vão na Primark, porque a Primark tem, tipo, várias roupas legais, com preço, tipo, bem legal. Então, vamos lá. Eu fiz o erro de só ir quando não tinha mais dinheiro. Péssima ideia. E é isso, esse foi o nosso dia. Amanhã a gente pega o trem de volta para Nova York, passa, tipo, o dia em Nova York, pra de noite voltar para São Paulo. E é isso, esse foi o vlog de Harvard, de Boston. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Se vocês gostaram, não se esqueçam de deixar seu like, de compartilhar com seus amigos, com seus inimigos também. Vai que eles gostem, né, desse conteúdo. Beijo, até o próximo vídeo.